In today's video, I'm going to tell you the most scariest things to ever happen on Nitro Type. And I'm going to tell you and I'm going to warn you that these are actually scary. Some of them might actually be offensive to some people. But I'll tell you when we get to those parts. I'll just warn you ahead of time when we get to those parts. But I think you can handle the rest. Number 1. When the race started, a player accidentally drove backwards. And he just kept driving backwards and he never came back. Nobody knows what happened to him until today. It remains a mystery. It's still bugging me until today that I don't know what happened to that person. People tried to follow the tracks of the car. It went through a cornfield, and then into a road, a long road, and then they couldn't find the tracks from there. We really don't know what happened to him. A player's finger snapped in half while he was typing. Now this wasn't any normal kind of typing. They said this man was like 28 years old and he was actually drunk and he wanted to try out Nitro Type, and while he was playing the game he got angry at some point and he typed really fast and he just got angry and he just started hitting the keyboard really hard trying to type fast. Oh, and at some point his finger literally snapped in half. This one is another mysterious story, and they actually caught this on camera too, so we have everything we need. If I read the article right, it was at the end of the race, a giant appeared in the racetrack and he started running towards the cars, and then soon he disappeared. That's really it. And the thing is, the cars or the racers were actually almost done. All of a sudden this giant appeared and everybody just started screaming. I mean, you can find like millions of pictures about that. Like, I was actually looking at that picture recently on what do you call it, Reddit. I think they just posted it because it was Halloween and it was scary. I don't know. I mean, I think it's more mysterious than scary. So we don't have any further evidence of what that giant might be. I mean, we don't know what it is. It could be a god, or it could be Thanos, or it could be I don't know. Who knows what it was. Alright, on this one we have the racetrack broke in half in the middle of the race. These people that were racing on this racetrack were like the luckiest people, because if they were like a second or a split second behind, then they would be really hurt and probably died too. Well, the racetrack is back and they are actually reconstructing it, and I'm pretty sure that they're actually coming up with a new style and everything. They added some new lights and stuff around, so everything's back and everything's working as normal now. The article, they said that it broke because it was too old and it hasn't been cleaned or anything since it was made, which was 2019, I think. It's only been a year, but it needs like constant cleaning and stuff. There can't be like trash laying around and stuff, or else it will like decay it. It will cause the racetrack to collapse. And also, since the racetrack is active all the time, so it needs attention at all times. Number 5. This one is another mysterious one and it's a little sad. Somehow, this racer lost control of the car, drove off into the forest, and he was never found. They just know that he drove off into the forest and he just never came back. They said that the car wasn't fueled up the right way when the race started. I mean, before the race started. They said that could be what has caused it. It normally doesn't happen. You would usually, the car would stop immediately instead of making you lose control. Alright, this one is the offensive part, I would say. Number 6. I don't know, if you think it's gonna be too scary for you, then don't watch it. Just skip this part to the next part. it was in the winter, so when it's in the winter you actually have to drive on the snow. In the stadium, the snow is the stadium where they race, or the racetrack is built to be snow because that's the theme of winter. So this player, they were getting ready to race, and I think he somehow accelerated too fast or something, and he slipped into the snow out of the racetrack, and they said that he froze to death there in the snow in his car, and because the emergency services, they couldn't get there fast enough. Based on what the article said, that they could have saved him if they got there like 5 seconds early. Number 7. This Nitro Type player was racing on Nitro Type, and it was at 3 a.m. I don't know why they were playing at 3 a.m. I don't know. But anyways, this player was racing at 3 a.m. and this ghost would appear only when he's playing Nitro Type. I mean, that could mean that the ghost is there, but it just doesn't appear while he's not playing. And what makes this scary is at some point he went out to, I think, to get a jacket or to use the restroom or something. And then when he came back, the light in his car was all turned off and he could not see. Then he had to find a flashlight to, later when he was talking to, the officials or something, they told him that on his car there was a symbol that represented ghosts. Yeah, really scary. So that's why you don't play an Nitro Type at 3 a.m. Alright, next up is, it was on a Halloween. This player was playing Nitro Type, and every time he has his mask on, he's fine. But every time he takes it off, he's terrified because he hears and sees this ghost that goes around his room in circles. And then it would move to a different spot and it would move in circles and in circles. We don't actually have a video for this. There was just a news article that I was reading about. So then later they explained to him that the mask is to prevent the ghosts, or to scare off the ghosts. So they said that he had to have the mask on. I think we all do have our mask on, and we can't play Nitro Type on Halloween without a mask on. So don't try it because it's really terrifying. It's a lot scarier than what you think. It's not like movies. In movies it's kind of scary maybe, but it's really terrifying when you're actually the victim. This one is the one that you will want to skip. This might be offensive to some people, so if you don't want to take the risk, then just skip. Alright, this one was actually captured on a security camera installed on a home. So it was this person that was, and also I'm not going to show you the face because they told me not to show the face. But this player wanted to play Nitro Type. He was so addicted that he wanted to play Nitro Type for the rest of his life. So he gathered around some food and he had his blanket. He was sitting on a chair on the table. After 5 days he was hungry, and he got to the point, he just kept playing. He got to the point where he's too hungry to get up or to say anything or to call anybody or anything like that. So he simply slipped under his chair or under the table, and he just laid there. I guess he was tired too. I mean, of course, he can't, staying up 5 days, of course you gotta be tired. So he just went to sleep. Yeah, so in the video it seems like he went to sleep and then he just never woke up. Yeah, so the lesson out of that is too much of everything is bad for you. And the reason he wanted to play Nitro Type 24/7 because he was on top of the leaderboard, and he was actually he didn't want anybody to even be close to him. So he wanted to keep going forward to the point where everybody was too far behind that they would give up. And for that reason, the Nitro Type leaderboards is now removed. They actually got sued for what happened. They didn't necessarily have to remove the leaderboards, but they didn't think it was right to keep it. So, In the older Nitro Type racetrack, there were so many mysterious things happening, and this is one of them. At number 10, a player was shrunk in his car with his car. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy and it doesn't sound real, but it actually happened. That happened in the older Nitro Type racetrack, and that's the reason they're bringing this new racetrack, and it's actually pretty clean. They got lots of light ups and stuff. Normally when you race on Nitro Type, you start from the left and you go to the right, but somehow this player managed to go from the right and drive towards left when there were people racing on the racetrack, and he ended up crashing into one of the players. Him and the car that he crashed with literally exploded.